Hi everyone, my name is Timi McEwen. I'm a documentary filmmaker and actor from London, and it's and that's me.
Yeah.
I would say that it's like there's loads of people, first of all, and also recently because of I think how many people have seen young young stars go from nothing and just all of a sudden they're in a Hollywood movie or they're in a Netflix series, and they've wanted to aspire to be that, so that's even saturated it even more. But it's not necessarily a bad thing because it means that more talent can be found. But at the same time, it's like now that there is more people, they can kind of look for certain roles and they'll definitely be filled, rather than there being a bit more thought to how things are developed and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think all forms of entertainment are that lottery ticket type of feel to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you aspire to be in Hollywood maybe, or what are your goals?
Personally, for me, I wouldn't even really consider myself that much of an actress or actor. I do love to act, that's how I started off when I was a child. But after kind of deviating and coming back, I've kind of found a passion for documentary filmmaking. Because I used to have a YouTube channel, well, I still have it, but I focused on kind of a lot of the youth problems that I've experienced in London and that I know a lot of people experience. So I want to kind of use my creativity in that way to kind of shed light and entertain, kind of make it entertaining, but also informative, real issues and things like that.
Well, I know you just told me a mouthful about documentaries, but what specifically drew you to the documentary field?
Because I've always loved documentaries since I was young. I never used to really you can't really ask all my friends, but all my friends know me that I don't really watch TV like that. I'll watch a documentary, I'll watch some weird things on the forest or hunting and strange programs like that. But everybody else is watching musicals or Netflix series. But I can't really. Sometimes I get distracted by the fact that this isn't how I would present whatever's going on, or there's almost that kind of thing for me. But I do love, don't get me wrong, I do love watching movies, and sometimes if a good series is recommended to me, I love watching it. But I don't really like the ones that drag on for too long, or things that they just ruin themselves almost. Sometimes you have to stop milking the cow.
Well, absolutely. That's a lot of the Sweden and Norwegian and Finland series on Netflix. That's kind of how they operate. If you watch the first episode and you watch the last episode, you've seen it all. but some kind of way they drag it out to 9, when they just put all this fluff in the middle. So it's kind of, I definitely understand what you're saying. It's a bit irritating to me too.
But then I have my personal opinions on those kind of things.
Share them. Tell me what they are.
I think, TV is TV, so you have to take it for what it is. It's all good and well, people making documentaries, kind of making people feel bad, oh, you need to recycle this, that, and the other, or it's your carbon footprint, this, that, and the other. But the real fact is that a lot of the, systems or facilities that there are that we normal people can't change, those are the things that are really the inefficient, environmentally friendly things that are going on. And it's I know, it's good to inform people, but at the same time, you could actually inform people accurately. So I have mixed feelings on, I have mixed feelings on all things.
Right. So are you going to carry that same sentiment with you as you journey through this documentary thing that you kind of want to get into? So are you going to have that as a responsibility that you carry, that I want to inform people, but I want to inform them accurately?
Yeah. I think one thing that's super important to me is like integrity, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night sometimes if I feel like the work that I'm producing, like personally producing for myself, isn't up to scratch or isn't truthful, isn't honest. Like, why am I putting it out there if it's, what was that for? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Well, I've never actually filmed a documentary. Tell me kind of like what goes into creating a documentary. How is it different than creating either a short film or some of the other stuff we see on Netflix?
I think the main difference is in fairness to like all kinds of productions, there's immense amounts of research that goes into all kinds of productions that are made. With documentary filmmaking, there is a lot of like kind of, it depends what you would make the documentary about, but there's loads of like on-site research, background research, interviewing people, collecting like accounts from people, stories from people, but also compiling images, music, like the backing, all of that stuff to make the production informative, but also engaging, because when you're giving information, it can sometimes come across like quite dreary. I don't know if you've ever watched, like, see those old school documentary, like Western documentaries about like American Western cowboys, and they're so slow, and the guy that's speaking over it is like, oh my God, put me to sleep.
Right.
So I think in a way there's a lot more like alternative creativity that goes into it, whereas like when you're painting kind of like a story, a picture, like you're kind of taking from familiar themes and stuff like that, but here you're kind of making the obvious and the things that seem so normal to people engaging and like making it hit them. So I think those are the differences, but both involve so much like work and so much creativity. It's interesting.